Most of us have heard of Disney's The Lion King, but have you heard of Kimba the White Lion? Have you heard the theories that The Lion King is a complete ripoff of the older series? Let's talk about that while you watch me render this Kimba vs. Simba illustration. Hello and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. This is episode number 2 of March Fandom Mayhem, the series Weblight Dreams and I are doing every Thursday this month, where we draw fan art based on your suggestions and feature your fan art in our videos. If you'd like to see your artwork on screen in my or Weblight Dreams' video with a shout out to your Instagram, your Twitter, or even your YouTube channel, then go ahead and share your fan art with us. Just use the hashtag MarchFandomMayhem, all one word, on Instagram or Twitter. It can be fan art from any fandom and it doesn't have to be new. Feel free to go back and add the hashtag to your older posts. I've selected a couple great pieces that were shared with us that I will be popping up on screen throughout the video today. If you've got an idea for us to draw next week, please feel free to leave it in the comments down below. If you're not familiar with Weblight Dreams, she also uploads to her art channel twice a week. She favors the anime style in her work, and she also does a lot of bargain shopping art supply hauls. I'll be linking to her in the end card, in the description, and in the pinned comment, so don't forget to check her out. So, Disney's animated film The Lion King was released in 1994. It's the story of Simba, son of the Pride leaders Mufasa and Sarabi, and essentially Prince of the Savannah. His uncle Scar plots to kill both Mufasa and Simba in order to take over as leader himself, and when his plot kills Mufasa but fails to kill Simba, he convinces Simba that it's all his fault and that Simba should run away and never return to the Pride Lands. Simba is found and raised by an unlikely pair, Timon the meerkat and Pumbaa the warthog. They live by the motto Hakuna Matata, which means no worries.
Hakuna Matata! It means no worry!
And they live a scavenger lifestyle, eating bugs and other small things.
Oh well, Hakuna Matata. Slimy, yet satisfying.
Eventually, childhood buddy and betrothed Nala leaves the Pride Lands searching for help, or food, or both, as Scar and his hyenas have destroyed the Pride Lands. She finds Simba, and between her pleading and a bit of a come-to-Jesus meeting with wise mandrill Rafiki and a Stormcloud version of his father Mufasa, Simba decides to return to Pride Rock, defeat Scar, and take his rightful place as king. Kimba the White Lion, also known as Jungle Emperor in Japan, started as a manga series in 1950 and was adapted into an anime series in 1965. This series follows a white lion cub named Kimba, whose father Panja was a great protector of jungle animals, but was killed by farmers wishing to protect their livestock. Kimba's mother Eliza is pregnant when Panja is killed, and she is sold to a zoo. Kimba is born on the ship in transit. A storm sinks the ship, killing many on board. Kimba should have drowned, but the fish teach him to swim on the fly, and his mother's face appears in the stars to encourage him. Kimba returns to the wild, and the show follows him as he grows up into a leader like his father. He wants peace for animals and tries to incorporate human culture into the wilderness. I didn't personally watch Kimba the White Lion growing up, so when I started hearing about the controversy that The Lion King was a ripoff of Kimba the White Lion a few years ago, all I could do was take everyone else's word for it. Now that I've actually looked into the Japanese series, I think it's pretty clear that the two stories follow very different plot lines, but I can see where the controversy comes from, so let's talk about a few key points. Obviously, both stories follow male lions with important dead fathers who eventually follow in their father's paw prints and lead as their fathers once did. That's about where the major plot similarities end. It's well known that the plot for The Lion King's screenplay is heavily based on Shakespeare's Hamlet, but with lions and made more palatable for children and families. Let's not forget that the real Hamlet flirts with suicide. Simba does not.
To be or not to be? That is the question. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come.
Yes, by the way, that was a clip of Gilderoy Lockhart's actor Kenneth Branagh. Did you know that he was a Shakespearean actor before Harry Potter? That version of Hamlet was filmed in 1996, and I discovered it thanks to honors English classes in high school in the early 2000s. But back on track. Perhaps the biggest point against The Lion King in the Kimba versus Simba controversy is the cast of very similar characters. Kimba is the Japanese version of Leo, and Simba is the Swahili word for lion. Personally, I think this similarity in the way the names sound is coincidence given their meaning. That said, there are some other major parallels between the casts. Both feature an evil male lion. Simba's villain is his uncle Scar, a dark brown lion with black mane and a scar over his left eye given to him in his youth by his older brother Mufasa, Simba's father. Kimba's villain is Claw, a dark brown lion with black mane and a scar over his left eye given to him in his youth by his rival Panja, Kimba's father. If we're going with the theory that The Lion King is Disney's rendition of Hamlet, then Scar is King Claudius, but this does not explain his very similar appearance to Claw. Both stories feature a wise mandrill and a bird confidant. In The Lion King, this is Rafiki and Zazu. Continuing with the Hamlet analog, Rafiki fills the role of Horatio, the character who seems to be the catalyst in both stories for the protagonist seeing a ghostly version of his father. Zazu is Polonius, foil to the king, though he's much more of a passive character in the Disney version of the story. In Kimba's story, these animals are Denil, a fatherly figure to Kimba at points throughout the story, and Coco, or Polly Cracker, an Amazon parrot friend of Leo, who's honestly much more similar to Iago than Zazu. Evil hyena sidekicks appear in both The Lion King and in Kimba the White Lion, though in Kimba it's only a pair of sidekick characters, not a primary trio backed by a whole pack of hyenas. Disney's hyena trio are meant to serve the role of Laertes in Hamlet, henchmen to Claudius. There are also scenes in both stories that are extremely similar. I've already mentioned ghostly lines in the sky in my summaries of the two, but as a reminder, Kimba sees his mother in the stars after the shipwreck, and this encourages him to go on and fulfill his destiny. There's also another scene later in the series where the static shape of an adult lion in a seated, roaring position appears in the clouds in daylight. Simba sees his father manifest in the clouds and hears his father instruct him to take his place on Pride Rock. The simple plot point of the father's ghost appearing to the son is consistent with The Lion King being an analog for Hamlet, but it didn't need to be manifested in the night sky in such a similar way, so this scene has a lot of people crying copy. Matthew Broderick, voice actor for adult Simba in the 1994 Disney film, actually thought he was voicing Kimba in an adaptation of the beloved series from his childhood when he took the role. But everyone working on the production of The Lion King at the time claimed ignorance of the Japanese franchise. Another similar scene is the wildebeest stampede. While Simba clings to a tree in the midst of the stampede, Zazu flies in and tells Simba to hold on, his father is coming. In an episode of Kimba the White Lion, a deer character named Bucky is in the same predicament but with stampeding antelope, and Polly Cracker flies in to tell Bucky to hold on because Kimba is coming. Perhaps most incriminating is the animation sequence for the Circle of Life in The Lion King, which is a shot-for-shot match to a sequence found in Kimba the White Lion. What do you think? Are the similarities coincidence, or was someone at Disney being less than honest back in the early 90s? If you were paying attention to the fan art features I popped up on screen a couple times earlier in this video, then you saw some artwork already submitted to the March Fandom Mayhem hashtag over on Instagram. Feel free to share more artwork that you want Weblight Dreams or myself to feature next week, either on Instagram or on Twitter. Today I featured Sailor Moon and Pokemon themed fan art by Draw Art Lab here on YouTube, at Nasty Art Lab on Instagram, and by Artwork of DR here on YouTube, at Artwork of DR on Instagram. Go ahead and check them out if you liked their work, and add the hashtag to any of your fan art if you'd like to see yours up here next. If you haven't seen Weblight Dreams' video yet, go check her out now. If you have, and you're wondering what to watch next, here are some suggestions on the left of your screen. I'll be back tomorrow with a line art swap collaboration with Draw Art Lab, so I'll see you then. Bye guys!